What we call a tyrant is not simply a cruel person. It is a brain that has been slowly rewired by unlimited control, by constant obedience, and by the chemical rewards of dominating other human beings. Every time a command is obeyed, every time fear appears in another person's eyes, the brain releases dopamine, the same molecule involved in addiction, pleasure, and compulsion, teaching the nervous system one dangerous lesson: that power feels good, and that losing it would feel like death. Once a brain learns that lesson, everything else begins to change. Power doesn't just give someone authority over others. It changes how their nervous system interprets reality itself, how threats are perceived, how empathy is processed, and how consequences are weighed. Over time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for restraint, long-term thinking, and moral judgment, begins to quiet down, while the threat detection system grows louder and more aggressive. Disagreement no longer feels like disagreement, it feels like danger. And when the brain feels threatened, it does not seek understanding, it seeks control. This is why tyrants become paranoid, why they see enemies everywhere, and why even small challenges feel intolerable. Because their nervous system is no longer reacting to people or ideas, it is reacting to perceived threats to survival. Neuroscientists call this transformation power-induced brain distortion, a state in which authority becomes so absolute that other human beings stop being processed as equals and start being processed as risks, obstacles, or things to be dominated. In this state, the emotional circuits that normally generate empathy, guilt, and hesitation are chemically muted, while the circuits responsible for dominance, aggression, and self-preservation are amplified, creating a mind that can justify almost anything in the name of staying in control. From the inside, this does not feel cruel, it feels necessary. The brain is no longer optimizing for morality, it is optimizing for survival through dominance. This is why absolute power is so dangerous, because it creates a feedback loop in which fear, dopamine, and control reinforce each other, slowly disconnecting the person from the emotional reality of everyone around them. The more power they gain, the more addicted their brain becomes to it, and the more intolerable the idea of losing it starts to feel. And this is why the world feels so unstable when people like this hold power, because their decisions are not being made by calm, balanced minds, but by nervous systems locked into permanent fight or flight, driven by chemical dependence on control. The most unsettling truth is that the most destructive tyrants in history did not believe they were villains. They believed they were protecting themselves, their position, and their version of reality, even as their actions destroyed millions of lives. That is what absolute power does to the human brain, and that is why it is one of the most dangerous forces on this planet.